Hey everyone, it's Michael, GoosebumpsFan. I hope you're doing well today. I have another review for you, but this one's a Things Like Goosebumps video. It's the first one I've done in a while. Yeah, we're getting into December now, so I have some R.L. Stine Christmas stuff I want to review. Of course, the Silent Night series from Fear Street will be my first ever getting into Fear Street, my first ever reads from Fear Street, aside from the Ghost of Fear Street, a couple of books that I read for that, for the Things Like Goosebumps segment on this channel. I thought I'd go ahead and do a point horror book, though. This is one that I've had my eyes on for a couple of years. You guys have heard me mention it here and there on the channel. And this is the first one to start off the Things Like Goosebumps Christmas reviews, because I've reviewed all the Goosebumps horror stuff. So I'm trying to find little things here and there for middle grade horror, R.L. Stine, Goosebumps, rip-off, knockoff type things. Of course, this is written by Stine himself. This is from Point Horror, like I said, which is kind of like it's kind of like Fear Street, but kind of not, but kind of is, you know? This is The Snowman. Yeah. I've been talking about this book for a long time. I wanted to read it. I thought I had a general idea of maybe it being kind of like a supernatural type of thing, like Killer Snowman or something like that. And I was wrong. The Point Horror series so far, I read Halloween Night 1 and 2, and those are good. They're written by Stine. At least Halloween Night's better. Halloween Night 2 is pretty solid for the most part, I would say. But these are apparently more of a series that's more focused around kind of crime type stuff, but not really crime. It's like, you know, teenagers dealing with a murder situation, or somebody wanting to kill somebody else, or finding out like a mystery type of thing with murder and whatnot. It's typically that. It's good for what it is. It's good for what it is. But I'll tell you right now, The Snowman was a mess, frankly. I want to put it like this. R.L. Stine's writing style from what I can tell, I guess Point Horror and Fear Street compared to Goosebumps is not as light in tone as Goosebumps, because Goosebumps, of course, is a middle grade book series. Point Horror and Fear Street apparently are more of a teenager type of thing. It's kind of a young adult at that time. It's about 200 pages, each Point Horror and Fear Street book and whatever. I've not had much exposure to any of that other stuff outside of Goosebumps from Stine, but I have enjoyed what I have read, so I want to make that very clear. The Snowman is not what I thought it was going to be. I was with it for a while. It wasn't an amazing read, but it wasn't really great either. It was just kind of middle of the road, decent. As the book went on, I hated the main character more and more. Our main character here is named Heather. She's an only child. Her parents died in a car crash back when she was like 3 or 6 or something. And then she's lived with her aunt and uncle. Her uncle is very abusive. Her aunt is very sheepish and quiet. Doesn't really kind of stop the uncle from being so abusive to both of them verbally and mainly. It's not like he hits anybody. Well, there was one part that he said that he hits people. Anyway, the uncle's a scumbag. There are certain parts of this book that make no sense because he's such a scumbag. In this girl Heather's life, she of course has to work a job in kind of a diner type of thing at the mall, and at that particular job, she makes money and she just kind of saves it because her uncle tells her, like, you need to save all this money you make, so she does that. She suspects that he might also be stealing money from her account. She doesn't really have access to look at her account. So he's a scummy jerk, dude. I hate that uncle. You're supposed to, but I really hate him. Like, he's a horrible guy. He's just a piece of crap. Anyway, Heather is working one night, and she meets a guy who comes in, a young guy, has snow white hair, and she doesn't really know why. He just comes in with snow white hair, sits down, takes his jacket off, and has some food at this particular diner that she works at. And they talk, and they start flirting around, and they decide to kind of go out for a date. Since he can't pay for his food, she pays for it for him, and he decides to pay her back with a date night. And she already has a boyfriend named Ben, and she kind of just decides, I'm going to cheat on this guy. She's a teenager. What does she have to lose? It's not that serious, man. So she cheats on her boyfriend with this guy, hangs out with the guy, and his nickname is called The Snowman. I don't know if I already told you that part, but his nickname is The Snowman. He just kind of goes from there. His real name is Bill Jeffers, and eventually he kind of tries to introduce himself more into her life. They start dating more. It gets more serious. Her and Ben kind of have a breaking up, and this Snowman guy is mostly a cool, charming guy, and he kind of gets involved in this situation with her abusive uncle and whatnot. And I'll tell you, the first 100 pages of the book really don't have much going for it. Of course, a lot of it is Heather, the main character, being a brat. Yeah, she's got a hard life. I'll tell you straightforward. Yeah, I understand where she's coming from with a lot of stuff. She constantly wishes that she could kill her uncle, or that he would just die of a horrible heart attack or anything like that. And those things those cravings for those kinds of things, that kind of revenge and pain, kind of come back to bite her in the tail at certain moments in this book. The Snowman is a stranger, but he's also a charming, cool guy that she considers hot, or whatever. The book is kind of plotless, and from what I've seen from the Point Horror series, there's not really much plot at the beginning of these books. About halfway through the book is when they really pick up. And for a 200-page book, in this case 180 pages, that's saying a lot. You're reading like the first 100 pages, getting introduced to some characters you'll never see ever again outside of this book. And there's not much plot being done. It's just kind of character focus and build up and whatever. As a plotless read, I still had a good time. It was better than Go Eat Worms, the recent Goosebumps book I reviewed, I'll tell you that much, but it had its moments. It has some good moments. It has some decent moments that I enjoyed. But Heather, as this book goes on, becomes a worse and worse character. She's just an idiot. Just a plain-out idiot. Just as she goes along throughout the story, she's an idiot. I like Snowman. He's a cool character. I dig him. One of the things with him, of course, is he has a brother who's sick, a younger brother. His mom is a nurse. They recently moved into this town. I think his dad died? Yeah, his dad died. His mom is a nurse, so she works like a couple of jobs too, so she's trying to stay busy all the time with all that. And the brother needs an emergency surgery that, if he doesn't get it, he's probably going to die. So he's kind of just slowly suffering over time, and that's really harming the Snowman mentally and whatever. And it doesn't really have much going for it. I'll be honest with you. There's not a whole lot of like murder or anything in this book. Somebody is following these two around, Heather and Snowman, in a black Taurus. She doesn't know if maybe it's her ex-boyfriend, or maybe it's a stranger, or maybe some kind of serial killer or anything like that. There's somebody following them around in a black Taurus. And that's pretty much it. Does it sound underwhelming? Yeah, it probably is. For a decent mystery book that was probably coming out every single month, not from Stein, but from other people too, it's got its moments. It isn't phenomenal, but it isn't excellent or really noteworthy either. It's just, it's fine. Now, Halloween Night I liked a lot more, and Halloween Night 2 I liked more than this as well. I think The Snowman is a decent read. It's not really engaging. It's not really a Christmas book. There's no talk of like Christmas lights really or anything like that in here. It's just kind of snow everywhere. Snowy fields, snowy woods, that kind of thing. But there's not really a whole lot more aside from that. It's alright. I don't hate it. Definitely don't hate the book. I just can't stand Heather as the book goes along. When you hate your protagonist or can't stand your protagonist, that kind of irks you enough where you don't really want to read the book more. That's pretty much what happened with me while I read this. So, yeah. That's all I got to say about The Snowman. It's got a decent writing style. It's not as playful as Goosebumps, but it's pretty solid and serious. I like how direct it is. Chapters are short. The book flies by, honestly. I read this in 2 sittings, which is different for me. I've had to carve out some time here lately where I've had more time to read on both channels, this channel and on my Mr. Wildboy94 channel, where I review adult horror and science fiction and comics and all that kind of stuff, too. Been working on that recently a little bit. But that's not as child-friendly as this channel, just so you know, because I have to talk about certain things because of the adult horror genre. Anyway, Snowman. This is alright. I'm not super excited about this. I'm not in love with it by any means. I hope this month I can check out the Silent Night books, 1, 2, and 3. I think there's only 3 of those, from the Fear Street Super Chiller books. I'm hoping to get those. I have to get book 1 here soon. I have book 2 and book 3. I was pretty sure I had book 1, but apparently not. So I have that coming in the mail at some point in the next couple of weeks. I hope to review all 3 of those this month at some point on the channel. We'll try. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I have a lot of Christmas stuff I want to watch and talk about. Maybe not on this channel, but just stuff I typically like to listen to and watch and whatever around Christmas time. That's pretty much my review for The Snowman. If I had to rate this book on a 5-star basis, I would give it about a 3 out of 5 stars. And again, the characters aren't amazing. Snowman's good. I like Ben, the boyfriend as well, or ex-boyfriend or whatever. He's okay. And then he's suspicious, but he's okay. The aunt character, I like her. I hate Uncle James, or whatever his name is. Heather's an idiot. The entire book, she becomes more and more an idiot. So it is what it is. What do you think about The Snowman? Have you read this? Have you read any other Point horror books aside from this or Halloween Night 1 and 2? What do you think about these books? Do you love them? Do you hate them? I would love to see more people review this book just to see their thoughts on it too. Maybe a more in-depth review. I think the ending has a really stupid part of it that I can't spoil for you because I don't do spoilers on the channel right now. But the ending has a really stupid thing in it that I just can't stand. I think it's so dumb. But other than that, that's pretty much it. What are your thoughts on The Snowman if you've read it? I think it's one of the most misleading covers, even though that scene, or a couple of scenes like that, are in this book. It is what it is. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Put them down below. Thank you for watching, guys. Merry Christmas. God bless you, and goodbye.